background is that I have been solving complex problems for decades. And I've represented people from all walks of life, but also high net worth individuals, governors and billionaires, and some very successful people. In 2012, I had a heart attack 10 years ago. And my daughter at the time was 15 years old. And I was concerned that I might pass away, have another heart attack, and leave her without the benefit of my guidance. And so I thought, well, how can I, anticipate the issues that might affect her and provide some guidance in advance of anything happening to me? How can I download my knowledge, in essence? And so I began to write a letter to her. And ultimately, because I like to write, the letter became very long. And once it was over 100 pages, I started looking at it more as a book. And I realized that, I would make it into a book and I would leave her a book. And so that became my first book. And that was called Seize Your Destiny, A Roadmap to Success. And after I finished that book, I felt that I had accomplished what I set out to do, which was download my knowledge into that book for her, to use in the event I wasn't there. But then I also realized that what I had talked about in that book was the life that I had lived and the experiences I had had and what I learned from them and what guidance I could offer from them. But then I realized that the world that she was going to live in over the next 30 years was going to be very different than the world that I had lived in. For example, I would, if I wanted the answer to a question, I would have to get on my bike and drive to the library and look up the question. And today, you can go on your cell phone, right? And you can Google something and you can get the answer instantaneously. So it's a different world, right? And the world over the next 30 years, I knew would be even more different, but I didn't know how different it would be. And so I decided I wanted to do a reconnaissance mission. I wanted to go into the future and try to learn about what that world would be like so that I could write a second book and I could leave her that advice as well. And so that began a process of my starting to research the future. And, if you don't look at something, you don't know much about it, right? So if I ask you what's happening, in Cincinnati right now, and you're not in Cincinnati, you're not going to be able to tell me. But someone who's there and someone who's looking at it would be able to tell us. So I started looking at the future so that I would be in a position to be able to talk about it and write about it. And what I found was absolutely extraordinary, unbelievable in terms of what's going to happen over the next 10, 15, 20, and 30 years. And I started to record all of that and document all of that. And that became my second book. And that book is called Millennial Sumarai, A Mindset for the 21st Century, right? And Millennial Sumarai, I want everyone in the country, if possible, as many people as possible to read this book. So I'm giving it away for free. You can go to millennialsumarai.com and you can download the entire book absolutely for free.